There's no more of an exhausting team to root for in any sport than the Las Vegas Raiders this year. All but 3 of their games have been one-score games, win or lose. And in these games, someone with the Raiders either makes a play to win the game or a mistake to lose it, player or coach. Against the Los Angeles Rams Thursday night, the Raiders came up on the short end of a one-score game after winning their previous 3 in a row. It was a pretty bad loss, too, as it could have easily been prevented. But that's what makes the Raiders as exhausting as they are. The loss is right in line with most of their losses, but there's plenty to take away from it. Some of which is good and the Raiders can build on it for next year. And some of it the Raiders need to learn from and not let happen again. Let's start off with some good and bad. Interior defensive lineman Jerry Tillery is quite a talent that the Los Angeles Chargers didn't know how to use when they picked him in the first round in the 2019 NFL Draft. I heard he was lost in the Chargers' complex defensive scheme. Defensive coordinator Patrick Graham, who liked him coming out of college, just wanted to get his hands on him, and his presence has paid dividends for the Raiders already. Before Tillery got here in Week 11, the Raiders averaged a little under a sack a game. Since he's been here, the Raiders have averaged just under 4 a game, and he's had a profound effect on Chandler Jones. Jones had 18 pressures and a half a sack in the 9 games before Tillery got here. In the 4 games since he's been here, Jones has 24 pressures and 4 sacks. Oh, and Jones is playing the run pretty well after the Chargers concluded that he can't play the run. They also said he has maturity issues, and they showed up in that unsportsmanlike conduct penalty. If the Raiders can settle that down, Tillery will continue to improve the Raider defense. Takeaway number 2 is the offense runs through receiver Davante Adams. If you think it runs through running back Josh Jacobs, somebody done told you wrong. The pass sets up the run in this offense because Adams is a superstar that requires an extra man to be assigned to him in coverage, so you can't put 8 in the box to stop the run. Against the Chargers Sunday, the Raiders gave the ball to Jacobs in the first quarter while not getting it to Adams. Jacobs was getting stuffed and the Raiders were down 10-0. Then in the second quarter, they got it to Adams. He made plays, the Raiders moved the ball, and Jacobs had plenty of room to run. So of course the Raiders were able to ride that to win the game. In the first half Thursday, the Raiders got the ball to Adams on big chunk plays as he had 3 catches for 71 yards. I have to say quarterback Derek Carr wasn't great, but how can he be when he didn't throw the ball to Adams again until really late in the game when it was picked off? As a matter of fact, he only threw 8 passes in the second half. Maybe he has a better game if he throws more, particularly to Adams in the second half. Take number 3 is head coach Josh McDaniels plays way too much not to lose and not enough to win. You have to step on your opponent's throat and crush it. Of course, you don't want mistakes to lose games for you, but Bill Belichick's old formula doesn't work anymore. The game's different now. Plus, Belichick adjusts to what's in front of him at the time. Carr to Adams was working, but Jacobs wasn't, so do what's working. But on the second to last Raider possession, McDaniels went 3 and out on running plays when Jacobs was averaging 3.7 yards per carry that night. I know running the ball takes more time off the clock because the clock stops when a pass is incomplete, but the best way to take time off the clock is to keep the ball. And to keep the ball, you have to move the ball. That means you have to get first down, so you should do whatever you have to do to get a first down, not just run the ball in the name of running the clock out. The Raiders took their foot off the gas way too soon anyway. This game really didn't have to be that close. It could have been a rout if McDaniels kept his foot on the gas, but in the words of the great Michael Jordan, sphincters get tight. McDaniels didn't get much help from his defensive coordinator either. Patrick Graham was supposed to be this big football savant just like McDaniels. But also like McDaniels, he misses on the simplest of things. On the drive that won the game for the Rams, they were backed up on their own 2-yard line with 1.5 minutes left. That's not enough time to score a touchdown to win the game. But it is when you play press man coverage with an undrafted free agent backup at one corner because Rock Ya-Sin was out with a knee injury. I love press man, but in that situation, you got to keep everything in front of you, make the tackle, and let the time run out. A prevent defense was made for that situation, but that's the thing about a genius. There's a thin line between a genius and an idiot. In Week 2, Graham ran a prevent defense on his own 3-yard line against the Arizona Cardinals, rushing 4 with zone coverage backed up into the end zone, and Cardinals quarterback Kyler Murray ran it in. Then Thursday, in a prevent situation, they run press man with the backup corner. Sometimes Graham does things backwards, just like McDaniels. You know, I really believe the Raiders are building something here. We're just going to have to be patient. The defense has already gotten way better since they added Tillery, so there's no need to draft an interior defensive lineman early. What the Raiders really need is a corner, and maybe Ya-Sin stays and Hobbs moves back into the slot. And maybe Gramps should stop overthinking this situational football. McDaniels has some things he needs to figure out too. He really needs to grow into this head coaching thing, and the sooner the better. One thing's for sure, and that's when you have a receiver like Adams, you throw the ball to him. Thank you for watching. See you next time.